Bapak Ibu dosen dan teman-teman mahasiswa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terima kasih yang sudah bergabung pada hari ini. Perkenalkan, nama saya Giraldi Pangestu, saya pustakawan dari PSB yang akan menjadi moderator pada hari ini. Pada hari ini akan diadakan penjelasan dan pelatihan terkait salah satu layanan yang disediakan oleh PSB, yaitu Pusat Sumber Belajar. Itu terkait akses dari S&P Compustat Capital IQ. Lalu juga telah hadir bersama kita hari ini sebagai narasumber. Ada Mirs Patricia Lopinio dan salah satunya lagi Ibu Tiffany Wijaya yang akan menjadi narasumber pada siang hari ini. Lalu juga sekiranya ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan dapat dituliskan melalui kolom chat atau disampaikan langsung dengan cara raise hand. Lalu juga nanti ada link absensi akan kami sampaikan di kolom chat pada akhir pelatihan. Lalu untuk mengefisiensikan waktu, langsung saja waktu dan tempat dipersilakan. Please, Miss Patricia, you will present.
Okay, thank you so much, Gerald. Before I present, maybe Tiffany, do you have some opening words for the team as well?
Oke, terima kasih Pak Gerald dan Ibu Patricia. Perkenalkan tim dari FEB UI, nama saya Tiffany. Saya selaku untuk Account Director untuk Universitas Indonesia dan juga korporasi dan juga perbankan lainnya di Indonesia. Saya orang Indonesia, jadi kalau memang di sesi ini ada pertanyaan yang membutuhkan translation, feel free untuk langsung ditanyakan juga. Nanti saya juga akan bisa bantu translate. Now I'll just pass it to Patricia then to start the training.
Okay, thank you so much, Tiffany and Gerald. Let me just start sharing my screen. Okay. Just to confirm, Tiffany or Gerald, can you confirm if my screen is visible on your end?
Ya,
Yes.
oke. Berarti kalau dari sisi pencari kerjanya yang cukup yang tadi aja, tapi secara fresh graduate gitu kan?
Iya.
Oke, berarti udah.
Yang tadi nomor 4.
Okay, so since everything is good, all set, I'll start with today's trading. So just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Patricia and I'm a customer success manager from S&P Global. So for today's training, we will be looking at Compustat's financials in Capital IQ, and we will be also going through the basics of Capital IQ Pro. So we will be highlighting the different functionalities within the platform and of course, highlighting those features that will be useful for your assignments and research. So a lot of topics will be covered. So feel free to chat on the chat box any questions that you may have. I can see that we do have some chat questions as well. So I'll be answering those throughout the session as well as the end part of the training. Okay, so to start, I have here open up Capital IQ. So this is what we call the classic platform, which is our older platform, which contains the Compustats data. So Compustats is not yet available on our Capital IQ Pro platform, but it is still accessible on Capital IQ. And you both should have access to Capital IQ, which I have here open, and Capital IQ Pro. Okay, so as we log into Capital IQ, this would be the page that you'll be accessing first. This is called the dashboard page, wherein it's the landing page every time you log in. And to access the Compustat data, just go to the search bar right here and then search for any companies that you're interested in. So for example, I'm just going to type in here I believe the ticker is IDXPLKM. Okay, let's try that. I'm just going to hit on enter. It will usually show up some related or search or some like this, some related searches, but seems there was a problem earlier. But as you can see, if you have like the complete name of the company or the identifier or the exchange ticker like this, it will automatically lead you to the company profile page. Okay, so it's a bit small. Maybe I can zoom it in a little just so that you guys have better visual of what the page looks like. So once you've searched and go into a company profile, it will look like this, wherein you can see we have a bunch of sections for company related details, such as their business description, their industry classification, their primary office location is also available here, as well as some other data sets such as their stock chart or their market data, and some quick financial details as well. So to access the Compustats data, so here in Capital IQ, we have two different data sets or financial data sets available, which is the ones that we can find under financials or valuation, and then we have Compustats data. So it might be a bit confusing at first because you might be wondering like what's the difference. Basically, it really boils down to the different methodologies that were used. So maybe I can open up Compustats here as a sample. Okay, so as you can see for Compustats, here we have the date range. So you can expand it up to way before 1994, as you can see here. We also have more options. So you can change the currency. So for example, you can change it to your local currency right here. And if I click on go, it will automatically change it to IDR, which is highlighted in this section here. And then you can see the rest of the financials. And you can also export all of this. So you can download this page, which will download the income statement. Or if you click download financials, it will export all of the tabs right here directly to your Excel. So of course, making it easier for you to, pull in the data that you require. And again, going back to the difference of Compustats versus the financials or the valuations that we see right here. Okay, so Compustats, it's primarily focused on providing detailed financial statements and metrics for specifically publicly trading companies. So it has a strong emphasis on historical data, as you can see right here. It has a bunch of historical data available. And it also aggregates or pulls in from multiple sources, allowing for a more comprehensive historical analysis. CIQ financials, which are the ones available under financials or valuations, we provide this as a way for our users to be able to compare companies from different regions, different industries on an apples to apples basis. So basically, we standardize these financials so that you can compare how a company in the banking industry compared to a company in the IT industry. So basically, it would be dependent on the use case for an example. But for Compustat financials, these are often used by researchers as well as academias who are more into financial data analysis in terms of historical comparables. Okay, so as mentioned, this would be how you can access the Compustat financials for a company. We have here the different pages such as the balance sheet, cash flow, multiples, ratios, and etc. So all of these pages, aside from Compustat, is also available on our new platform or our newer platform, which is called Capital IQ Pro. Okay, so if you're in Capital IQ, you can easily jump through Capital IQ Pro by clicking on the Capital IQ Pro link right here on the top right. I actually have it here open. So as you can see, compared to Capital IQ Pro, it's a lot more or Capital IQ. It's Capital IQ Pro is a lot more advanced, wherein I'll be showing later on. We have a bunch of newer features here, showing um, generative AI as well as some tools that can help mass pull data on your end. Okay, so just a quick introduction. So Capital IQ Pro, basically you can think of it as the enhanced version of Capital IQ. It includes, features that is found in Capital IQ, as well as, industry-specific data as well. We also have expanded private company and private equity data here on the platform. Okay, so similar to Capital IQ, we also have here the dashboard as our landing page whenever we log in. And a couple things before we start. I'll be spending a lot more time here in Capital IQ Pro as well. So basically, before you start, you might want to change your settings first. So to do that, click on the user icon here at the top and then go to user profile and display information. Okay, so here you can change, it's just loading on my end, but here you can change your currency settings. So if you click on a specific currency here, it will automatically change the currencies that will be shown to you in the platform. So if you'd like it to see in your local currency, you can definitely do that here. You can also change the time zone as well as the date format. The appearance, as you can see, mine is in dark mode, but you can definitely change it to light mode as needed. We also have here the profile information. We have specifically the profile specialization here. So we do have a bunch of selections, such as for energy, ESG, metals and mining, etc. But if you don't really have a specific, industry or a focus in mind, you can just leave it to generalist like what I have right here. Okay. Aside from that, so once you've done with your changes, just click on save here at the top right. And another thing I'd like to show before we move on to the other data sets is that we also have the edit button right here. So the edit button, it allows you to, customize your menu items, making those that you frequently use a lot easier and a lot more accessible for you. So for example, maybe you'd like to access Chart Builder a lot more frequently. You can add in Chart Builder here on your current menu items and then just click on Save. Okay, so just going back, maybe we can now look at the search bar. So I'm just going to click on Search right here. So as you can see, it's a lot more advanced than what we have in the classic Capital IQ, wherein we have a bunch of searches available, such as searches for companies, funds, equities, index, commodities, and such. You can also search for countries here, which I'll be showing later on. But for today's sample, maybe we can use Tokopedia as a sample company that we can look at. Okay, so as you can see, I just type in here the company name. It will give you again the relevant search results. And here on the right side, we have some quick links that you can jump through. So just click on the company here. And it will automatically open up their public company profile, which contains their market data, their corporate data. We also have a stock price chart right here, and a bunch of other data such as their estimates, financial highlights, and research and such. Okay, so again, all of the sections here have their own specific pages, which I'll be showing later on as well. Let's just move this right here. Okay, so maybe I can take a look at stock chart to show you guys this functionality. So I think this is particularly useful because you can easily, get the share price data for the company. You can also compare it to any other company right here. So you can just search for, like, for example, let's use the same company that I selected earlier. If I search and select it, it will automatically be plotted here on the stock chart. You can also add in more companies as needed. And if you're not interested in comparing, you can also remove it by clicking on the X button. A bunch of other details here as well. We have the different functions available. So if you'd like to get the moving average, the RSIs, you can do that here. You also have the different chart types, the time frames, as well as the frequency. So if you'd like to see weekly or monthly data, that is also available here. One thing that we've recently added is this thing called Chart Explainer. So if I click on this, it will ask me to select a start and end date. So I'm just going to randomly select a start and end date, and it will actually begin pulling for news and activities for the company based on the date range that we've selected. Okay, so it might just take a couple of seconds, but this would be, a good way for you to analyze how those news and activities may have affected maybe like the share price of the company. Okay, so as you can see, it's now listing down some major events, such as a launch of a new, I think this is a new service, some new initiatives, bonus announcements, IPO funds, market growth projections. Okay, so as you can see, it's also plotting in those significant events in the chart itself. You can also jump through the different links here to learn more about the major events that is listed. Okay, so the chart explainer is available for all public companies that is profiled here in Capital IQ Pro. Okay, so maybe we can also take a look at corporate structure. So this page is very helpful because we are able to visualize and see directly those companies that are under the company that you're looking at. So for example, you can see here, this is the company that we're looking at. And if we expand it, you can just expand it by clicking on this right arrow here. We now have that list of subsidiaries, investments for the company. And all of this, so all of the subsidiaries right here, you can also just click on any of them to visit their profile pages as well. Okay, so moving on, let's also take a look at people summary. So this would be the page for you to look at if you're interested in, looking at the top executives of the company. So you can see here their CEO, the chief technology officer, as well as the board of directors. So if you're interested to learn more or identify who is the chairman of the board, the vice chairman, as well as the other board members, you can see that here. And all of the executives right here have their own specific pages as well. So for example, if we click on this one for Hans, okay, so you can see here a bunch of other details for their CEO, such as the age of the CEO, their biography, their education, as well as what degree they took up, some other or their professional functions as well. So you can see here that before they became CEO, they were also the chief operating officer, a senior executive, um, finance and accounting professional, as well as their board memberships here. Okay. And aside from that, maybe we can also take a look at peer comps. So this is definitely one of the popular pages here for a company profile because this utilizes a tool that I'll be showing later on. It utilizes our screener tool to pull in a list of comparable companies to Tokopedia right here. You can see here the top 10 comparable companies. And if you expand criteria, it will show that the list of filters that were used in order to pull that list of comparable companies. So this would definitely be a good way for you to pull in, the top 10 comparable companies for a company you're interested in. As you can see, aside from the companies, it will also be automatically pulling in for financial metrics as well. And all of this, for all of the pages actually in Capital IQ Pro, you can easily export them by clicking on the export button. As you can see right here, we have an export button. We also have it available. So for example, if I go to the financials, maybe I'll open up income statement. Okay, as you can see, export is also available here on the top right. And here we can see the income statement page, which contains the Capital IQ financials for the company. I understand it that this might be a bit overwhelming because a lot of metrics is available here. We actually make it easier because if you click on the three dotted line right here, we have the definitions easily accessible for you. Just click on definitions and it will automatically open up what those metrics mean. Okay, and also you can click on any of the values right here. So for example, if you're interested to learn more about the 2024 total revenue, just click on the value. A box like this one will open up wherein you can see how, if you're using a different currency, you can see the exchange rate that was used in order to pull in the value. And if you expand it further, you can see we are able to view the source. If you click on the blue hyperlink right here, it will automatically open up the source document for where this particular value was taken from. Okay, so you can see here the source document, which is a financial report by the company. Okay, so a couple more things to show on a company profile. Maybe we can take a look at performance analysis as well. This would definitely be useful, especially if you're going to look at, ratios such as return on assets, return on equities, margins, asset turnovers, all of that is available here on this page. Okay, we also have here estimates. So I'm just going to the consensus estimates page. So I think this page would particularly be useful, especially if maybe you're asked to see how a company is forecasted to perform in the future. So this page would be the ideal page for you to look at because as you can see, aside from showing the current data, we also have projected values here for 2026, 2027, and so on. And you can also change the date range here as needed. So if you'd like to see for other years, you feel free to change it here on the filter section. As you can see here, maybe you're interested to see how the company is projected to perform in 2029. You can just refer to the values here. So all of this is actually taken from various analysts that is part of the financial analyst that is covering the data. Or covering the company, I mean. Okay, so a couple more things to show here. We also have transactions. So if you're interested in learning more about the transactions of the company, such as their mergers and acquisitions, their public offerings and such, all of that is available here on this page. Again, we also have the filters here. And if you go to the details section, okay, it's just taking a little longer to load. Okay, so as you can see here, it will be showing that list of acquisitions for the company, the acquisition type you can see here, as well as the target, the buyer, as well as the seller. Okay, maybe two more pages to show on this for a company profile, maybe the ownership. Okay, so I'm just going to ownership detailed right here. So this page would particularly be useful, especially if you're going to look for the list of owners for the company. So this will be listing down the top owners for the company. So you can see here those who have the top ownership as well as their percent of common shares outstanding, the market value, the position date, which is the latest available date for their ownership, as well as the history. I think this is particularly interesting. So, for example, maybe you're interested for Alibaba. So they are currently holding 8.36% in common shares outstanding for Tokopedia. Maybe you're interested in seeing how their ownership has changed throughout the years. You can just go to history. And then now you can see, or you're able to see how their ownership has changed throughout the years right here. There's also a summary table available here at the bottom part. Okay, and that would be it for the company profile section for today's session. We'll be moving on now to the different tools that is available in the platform. Okay, so I think I'll be able to answer one of the questions that we have. As I can see here, maybe I'll flash the question. So how to retrieve all public companies in ASEAN? So currently they are looking at Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. So maybe you're also interested in looking how you can pull this data. So to pull this data, you just have to go to Screener right here, and then go to Companies. Okay. So it might look different on your end because by default, the criteria section is here on the left side. I just prefer it on the bottom side, which you can also do by clicking on this symbol right here. I just prefer it because I can see everything all at once. But basically, this screener tool, it allows you to pull in, qualitative and quantitative data based on the different filters that we have here. So it will be pulling for companies based on the filters that you'll be selecting. So let's start off by pulling the different countries that is listed in this question here. So to do that, first, let's go to recommended criteria and then click on geography. So from there, you can either navigate to the different geographies here, or you can also use the search bar to make it a lot easier for you. So let's say Singapore. And then once you see the country you're looking at, just tick the box and that will automatically be selected. And then let's search for Indonesia. Malaysia. Oops. Okay, seems like I have to redo it again. Apologies for that. Let me search for Malaysia. Singapore. And maybe I can manually search for the other one. So that would be, for the rest, it should be under emerging Asia Pacific. So Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines is also here, Thailand, and Vietnam. Okay, so once, as you can see, it's here are the countries we've selected. So once you're done with your selection, just click on Add, and it will automatically be pulling a number here. So as you can see, it's quite a large amount of companies pulled because we are pulling for 6 countries. So let's narrow it down to those that are only public. So to do that, that should be under company type, and then tick the box for public company here. Click on Add. And now we're down to 4,963 public companies in the 6 countries that we've selected. Okay, so let's click on Run Screen. So once you've clicked on run screen, it will automatically, pull in that list of public companies in the ASEAN countries we've selected. Okay, so aside from actually pulling that list of companies, you can also add in data columns. So without having to narrow down your, 4,963 companies pooled, you can add in more data columns. So maybe you're interested in viewing their total revenues, their market capitalization, and such. That will be possible here as well. So there are two ways to do that. First is to selecting a template here. You can either select from our different data column templates. So we can click on basic financial details template as a sample. And once I've selected that and once it is loaded, you can see here it automatically now has the total enterprise value, market cap, and such for our long list, our very long list of 4,963 companies. So as you can see, it's very powerful, very useful, especially if you're going to um, pull data for a lot of companies here. Aside from the templates, you can also add in data columns one by one by clicking on display columns right here. Again, you can either manually search for the metrics here on the categories, or you can also search using the field search functionality here. So let's add in, since we didn't specify their industry, maybe you're interested in seeing the industries for the different companies. Let's add that. Okay, so primary industry. So as you can see, once you've selected a data metric, the definition is also available here on the bottom left, making it, a lot easier for you to understand the different data metrics that we have. So to add it to your selected data columns, just click on the right arrow here, and it will automatically be added. We can also add in maybe, let's say, maybe we want to get the CEO name. That should be available under people and compensation, top executive, person details, then person's full name. You have here the different selections. So if you'd like to get the CEO's name, just select the chief executive officer here, add the right arrow, and then it will be added here. Again, we have a bunch of different data metrics that you can add. We can also add in their latest share price. So I think it should be available here. For example, I think maybe let's select the close price. You can also select a date range. So for example, maybe you want to get the share price from last week's Monday up to last week's Friday. Let's add that. Okay, and now we have our selection of different data columns. Once I click on apply, okay, just have to scroll to the right here just to show everyone what we've added. So you can see here, we're now seeing the primary industry, the CEO name, and the day close price for the date range that we've selected. Okay, so a bunch of other features is available on the screening tool itself. Firstly, we also have the export option here. So you can easily export this data to Excel. You have the option to save this. So, I understand that it may take you some time to build this. So if you'd like to save it and revisit it in the future, you can just save this. Make sure to select project, because this will capture everything from your criteria to the company list up to the data columns you've added. So once you select project, it will just ask you to, add in a name for your screener. And once you've saved that, it's just taking some time to load here on my end. As you can see, you can type in any name. Once you've saved that, all of your saved items is available here on the top right Save Items folder. For Company Screener, it's under List and Screens, and then just click on Manage Screens. Okay, And one last thing, couple more things. We have the option section here. So we have the show statistics. So if I tick this box, if I check on it, okay, it's just loading here. It will add a section here at the bottom part of your screener showing the minimum, the average, the median, as well as the standard deviation for your data metrics that you've added. So this will, of course, be only applicable for data metrics that are in values or numerical values, I mean. We also have here the group by option. So I understand that we did add it for a bunch of different countries. So maybe you're interested in seeing the data by country. Just go to group by here and then go to country or region name. Okay, this might take a couple of seconds. But as you can see, we are now seeing the groupings as well as the number of entities that fall under the grouping that we did. So you can see that for the Philippines, there were 295 public companies. For Indonesia, it's around 144 and etc. You can also expand this. So if I expand on Indonesia here, it will show you again an aggregate section for that specific grouping, as well as the companies that are part of this specific grouping. So all of this now will be showing for companies that is under Indonesia. Okay. So that would be it for company screener. Actually, maybe I can open up another sample here. Let me just go back to screener tab and then go to companies again, because I just wanted to quickly show one of our enhancements here. So as you can see, I already have an AI-assisted screener available on my end. But if you don't see it, you do have to click on settings and then make sure to have your AI-assisted screener turned to yes. Basically, what this does is that you can just search or type in here a natural language query such as public companies in Indonesia or public companies in Malaysia, public companies in ASEAN. You can do that and it will automatically generate the criteria for you. So for example, if I type in here, public companies in Indonesia, and then I just type in enter, it will generate the criteria. Okay. As you can see, we now have the criteria here. So just to check, it is correct. It's pulling for company type, public company, and geography in Indonesia. Okay. We also saw the same number earlier during the grouping. So 944 public companies in Indonesia pulled. Okay, so as you can see, through the use of the AI-assisted screener, it makes it a lot easier to pull in that list of criteria that you need for your data pool. Again, if you don't have it available, just go to settings and then make sure your AI-assisted screener is turned to yes. Okay, so I think that would be it for the screener tool. If you do have any questions about it, feel free to just type it here on the chat box. Okay, so a bunch of other tools I'll be showing. Maybe I can quickly show the chart builder right now. So this page is very useful because it can help generate charts for you, especially if you're going to, maybe you're going to present or add a chart in your presentation. This would definitely be useful. Okay, so maybe we can use TLKM as a sample again. I'm just going to select here. And then once you've selected your, your target company, you have here some options to use a template that is pre-built for you, such as, price and volume, some target price data, forward multiples, and such. You can also create your own chart by adding in the different metrics that we have here. So for example, let's add in, maybe I can just use a template, such as the price and volume. Okay, so as you can see, just with those two clicks, we now have the share price and the volume data for the company. You can also add in entities here. So for example, I'm just going to search for IDX companies here. Maybe this one. Okay, so to compare or add in companies to your chart, just click on add entities here and then just search and click on any of the companies you want to add, and it will automatically be plotted on the chart here. Aside from that, you can also add in more metrics by clicking on the add metrics button. For example, market capitalization, let's add that. You can see it's automatically plotted here. And aside from the chart itself, we also have this symbol here, which is the chart symbol or the table symbol, which allows you to automatically view the hard-coded data for the chart itself. Again, you can easily export this to Excel by clicking on the export button. You can also save this chart by clicking on the save button right here. And again, all of your save items is available on the save items folder. Okay, so a couple more things to show. I'm hoping that you're still following along. I know that there are a bunch of data available here in Capital IQ Pro, but the next features I'll be showing are definitely very interesting. Starting off with the markets tab, I wanted to show here the market map section. So under markets, go to market maps. So this section right here contains very niche industries or very specific industries. So you can see here industries such as clean tech, pet foods and supplies, video games. We also have here biofuel. If you go to markets in A to Z, it will just list down the, or it will just show the markets alphabetically. Sorry, I do have to refresh it. Seems to be not, okay, there it is. I can now scroll. As you can see, we have different niche markets or specific markets for energy, goods and products, health and life, services such as car sharing. We also have food delivery here, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, you can see here food delivery. So very specific industries are available here. So for example, maybe you're interested to learn more about the food delivery industry. You can just click on food delivery here, and it will open up this section wherein you can learn more about that specific industry. So for example, here you can see the definition for the industry. You can also change the geography here. So for example, I've previously selected Malaysia. So let's type in here Indonesia. Let's select it. And now we are seeing um, the food delivery industry specific to Indonesia. You can also see here the deals, so transactions such as, rounds of funding, M&As that have happened in this industry. You can also get the private companies, public companies operating in this industry as well. And then here at the bottom part, we have events and key developments, news and transcripts in this industry. So for example, maybe you're interested in a private company. We have that available here. All of the data, the column headers, you can click on it to sort it. So for example, you can see here the list of top private companies in the food delivery system or food delivery industry based on their total amounts raised. You can actually click on any of these again to, learn more about this particular company. So for example, this is a private company that operates in the online grocery and food delivery industry. So you can see here the topic tags or these niche industries that this company is um, operating at. Okay, so here in Capital IQ Pro and Capital IQ, we actually also cover private companies. As you can see here, we have around 55 million private companies profiled in the database. So just going back to the markets tab, we can also see here the rates and yields. So I always show this section because very interesting, this particular section here, because you can see here the government debt data, wherein if I scroll down, so I just have here the region set to Asia Pacific. That's why Indonesia, Japanese, South Korea government bond or government debt is automatically available. So you can learn more about how the latest value for the Indonesia 1 month Indonesia bond, the 3 month, the 6 month, up to 30-year Indonesia bond is available here. So if I click on the 30-year one, it will open up the chart wherein you can learn more about how this particular government debt has changed out the years. Again, we have the expert button available for you on this top right. Okay, and maybe one more thing to show on under the markets tab is the geography section. So this is particularly useful, especially if you are interested to learn more about country-specific data. So you can either navigate through the different geographies here. So you can see you can just scroll down to Indonesia here on this part, or you can also use the search bar. So if I type in here Indonesia, it will automatically show up the country profile. So if I click on it, you'll now be led to the page for Indonesia wherein you can learn more about the country itself. So some latest news, their population, as well as some other economic data is available here. You can also hear the country risk scores, exchange rates, and such. So if you'd like to learn more about the economic data of a country, just go to economic data here on the left side, and then go to economic and demographic data. And it will automatically open up here. It's just loading on my end. But it will show you historical as well as forecasted macroeconomic data for Indonesia. Okay, it's just loading a little slow. But as you can see here, GDP, CPI, gold reserves is also available here. Average household income, unemployment, employment, and a bunch more macroeconomic data is available here. Again, if you're not quite sure on the definition, just hover over the information icon to learn more about that particular metric. You can also change the date range by hovering or changing the date range here at the top. So as mentioned, this also contains both historical and forecasted data. So if I scroll to the farthest right, you'll be seeing here some forecasted data available for those different macroeconomic data here. You also have economy in perspective. So this page, it allows you to quickly compare how a country is performing compared to other countries. So it's just taking a little longer. So I think this would be, a good sample to apply the ASEAN countries as well. So maybe you're interested in comparing the macroeconomic data of the ASEAN countries. Economy in perspective, this page would be the page to look at. Okay, it's just taking some time to load. Maybe I can refresh it. Yep, you can see here I was previously also comparing the ASEAN, some ASEAN countries here. But you can see you can easily compare its nominal GDP as well as some other economic data as well. Okay. And maybe we can now move to the other search functionalities or the other enhancements that we've added to the platform. So one of that is the documents tab right here. This basically opens up our document intelligence or the document viewer page. So if you're interested in, getting the filings of the companies, as well as the investment research, news, transcripts and investor presentations, all of that can be done here. So let me quickly just refresh this. Basically, you can add in filters here at the top. So if you do a keyword search, for example, let's do a keyword search for clean energy. It will automatically be pulling for documents wherein clean energy was mentioned. You can see that here. You can also add in more filters. Aside from clean energy, it will automatically be searching for synonyms as well, broadening your search to renewable energy, sustainable energy, and green energy. You can also uncheck any of these to remove them from your search. You can also click on more filters if you'd like to search for a specific industry, a specific geography, all of that you can add here. So for example, let's specify for only in the Asia Pacific, right? And then just click on apply filters. Now we are seeing clean energy documents that is only in the Asia Pacific region. Okay, so a couple of things to show here. So one of the things I'd like to show is the transcript section. So I just went to transcript and investor presentations here. Just going to open up a random transcript. So if you're interested to learn about an earnings call of a company, the transcript section here would definitely be useful. Because we have a couple of interesting features here. So one of the features is here on the left side. We have key phrases, which will list down the key phrases that were mentioned in the call. So how many times a particular phrase was mentioned. We also have entities, which again will list down the number of times an entity is listed in the call or mentioned in the call itself. Then we have the earnings call transcript itself. So it's quite long, as you can see. So it will definitely take up a lot of your time if you have to read through it, but we do have the summary section right here. Okay, so as you can see, we have two types of summary available. So by topic, you can easily see the financial results listed down, the outlook for how the company is, projected to perform in the future. Company strategy is also listed down here, as well as external factors and products and services. We also have by sentiment, which will list down the positives and the negative points that were discussed in the call. Again, you can click on any of the points here, and it will automatically lead you to where it is taken from. So you can see it's highlighting that section here. One of the features that we have here as well is what we call Chat IQ. It is our own generative AI chat function here in Capital IQ Pro. So you can see here we have Chat IQ and some questions that you can ask about the transcript. So if I click on this one, so what were the key financial results and operational highlights? Okay, so you can easily get the answer just as well as the summary table here at the bottom. And you can also click on any of the numbers here. Again, it will highlight that section wherein this particular answer was taken from. Okay, And we also have a new feature that wherein you can select multiple documents. So for example, I just have here selected 2 documents. Maybe I can add in one more. So 3 documents, such as the 3 different transcripts I have. And then you can also bulk download them right here. So if you'd like to download the transcript themselves, you can do that. You can download up to 20 documents at a time. You can also open them up in Chat IQ all at once by clicking on this button right here. So this will allow you to analyze different documents all at once, making it, a lot more efficient, a lot faster for you to read through the different earnings call for a company. And just going back, I see that one of the earlier questions is the qualitative data, such as notes on financial statements, management reports. I think this page would definitely be useful for that because you can see here we have the different types of filings for the company. So you can see here quarterly reports and such. You can also specify the document type right here. So for example, if I just click on clear all and I expand on filings, you can specify if you'd like to only view annuals, bank regulatory filings, you can do that here as well. Prospectus, proxies, regulatory state filings. And since you've mentioned sustainability reports, you can also tick the box here for that specific report type. So all of that is available here. So for example, I'll open up a quarterly report. You can see here a sample quarterly report for a company. And we also have Chat IQ available for the filings of the company as well. And to access the Chat IQ application itself, that should be available under apps and links. And then just go to Chat IQ right here. Okay, so we're actually now down to one of the last features I'll be showing, which is the Capital IQ Pro Excel plugin or the Office plugin. Okay, so just to show you how you can install it on your end, just go to apps and links and then go to S&P Cap IQ Pro Office download here. So you can easily install them to your personal laptops or computers by clicking on this button right here. So unfortunately, this will only work for Windows devices. For Apple or Mac products, currently we don't support those devices for now. But yes, once you've installed it, it will look like this on your end. I have here a sample template that we have pre-built. It will look like this on your Excel. And just quickly going back to access the rest of our templates. So we do have pre-built templates available for you. That is available under apps and links. And then just go to Excel template library. So we actually have a team of Excel experts that are building these templates for us. So all of this you can download. So you can download as many as you want. These are all part of your subscription. So no additional payments is required to download or access any of the Excel templates right here. So you can use the filters or use the search bar if you're going to, look at different or look for specific templates. As you can see, we have the description here, making it easier for you to understand what that template is for. But just to show you again, a sample template that I have here open. So this is the standard financials and comparables template, wherein you can easily input in a focus company and it will generate your peers, or you can also type in here the peers you want and some other selections here, such as the period, the currency, and such. And once you click on refresh, it will automatically update the data that is found available here. Okay, so as you can see, for your reports or your assignments or your research, you can easily get the historical data for the company right here, such as their revenues, their net incomes, as well as some other financial metrics. Have here the detailed comps, which will compare the companies, and the summary comps here, which again will just list down the important financial metrics for the different comparable peers or similar companies to your focus company. So this is just one of the hundreds of templates that we have available. So feel free to, again, look into the different templates that we have. Okay. So a couple more things to show here. We also have the news section available. So if you're interested to learn more about the different news for different industries, that is available here as well. We also have the IQ newsletters right here, wherein you can subscribe to our different newsletters. So if you want to stay updated to the different markets that we have, such as the US, APAC, EMEA, you can subscribe to all of this, and it will be sent to you directly via email. We also have the subscription center here if you'd want to learn more about, financial services, the private equity data, energy evolution. So all of this are just newsletters that is created based on the different subscriptions that we have. Okay, and then maybe since we've already, looked at alerts, you can also create alerts by clicking on the alert icon here at the top, and then click on create new alerts. Okay, so you can see here wherein you can select the alert type or the alert name. You can type it here. You can be alerted by email, mobile push notification. So if you're not aware yet, we do have a mobile application for Capital IQ Pro that you can install on your mobile application. Just go to Google Play or the App Store to download it. And then from there, you can select different filters. So you can specify companies, industries, or geographies. If you'd like to be alerted for different key developments, news, you can do that all through here. Okay, and then maybe one more thing, since I did show Excel earlier, maybe I can show you guys how we can build formulas on Excel directly. So as you can see, I was previously pulling data. Maybe I can remove the data here. So I can start from scratch for today's sample. So here on Excel, so once you've installed your Excel plugin, it will look like this. And then here in Excel, it's very important that you have your tickers or your identifiers. Basically, this helps the formulas to pull the data specifically for the company that you're looking at. So to pull in your identifiers, you can just go to more data here and then go to identifier lookup. Okay, seems like I'm just having some issues. Let me try that again. Okay, seems like my okay, there it is. Just loaded a little slow. But let's just wait for it. Okay, so this is what the identifier lookup looks like. So you can just type in here, like for example, let's search for Tokopedia. I just type in here the company name. Okay. Yep, seems to be I just am having issues with this particular tool. Let me try that again. Okay, seems like I just have some issues here, but that's basically how it goes. You can just search for the company and it'll automatically add in here the exchange ticker. And then from there, you can start building in your formulas. Just go to Formula Builder here. Okay, I already have it open. From there, so it's similar to the Excel or the screener that I showed earlier, wherein you have the different data metrics here available. You can either search for a company identifier or you can specify a cell, such as this one. We have cell, since we already have our identifiers in the um, Excel file, let's just reference cell C3. Yep, I've just selected it here. You can see cell C3 and then company details. So I already have the company name pulled there. Maybe I can just pull for the total revenue as a sample for today. So just search for total revenue, select it. If similar to the other definitions, you can just hover over it to learn more about the definition for the data metric. So just select total revenue, select the year you'd like to pull data for. So for example, maybe 2024. You can also select the currency here. So let me just look for the IDR. Okay, so you can see here your built formula. Just click on add. And then just make sure that your output location is correct because you don't want to, overwrite any important details on your Excel file. Just click on apply. Oops, it's going back. Let me try refreshing it. Seems like I'm just having some issues here. Yep, seems like I'm just having issues with my Excel. Unfortunately, do have to, which is weird because I am signed in. Unfortunately, maybe I can just share with Gerald um, some resources on our Excel just so that I can, I can share with you guys some resources on how you can use Excel. Unfortunately, I am facing some technical issues with it. But no worries because we actually have some upcoming webinars as well that we will be holding for different clients to train you guys on how you can use the Excel plugin. So I'll be sharing that to UI users as well. So how you can register and everything, I'll be sharing that as well. Okay, so I think that would be it for today's session. So I know that we went through a lot of different features of the platform, different data metrics, different data sets. So if you do have questions, feel free to chat them here, or you can also reach out to me, or just let me know. Yes, I can see that we have some questions. Can I pull data from Capital IQ using API? Unfortunately, using data from Capital IQ to API would require additional subscription that UI doesn't subscribe to. So that would not be possible. So the best way to bulk pull data would either be to Screener or through the Excel plugin, which the different templates that I showed earlier. And before we end, just wanted to show as well the help section. So we have here the help center, which you can access different articles for like the different methodologies, the different data sets that we have. All of that is available there. Platform training webinars, you can access recorded webinars that ranges from like different data sets and different industries that we cover. That is all available here. We also have S&P Capital IQ Pro Academy. So I think this would be very interesting for a lot of you because this is the Capital IQ Pro Academy. It's a set of videos that you can play. You can learn more about Capital IQ Pro there, and it will also have quizzes. So once you're done with your videos and once you've passed the quizzes and everything, you actually have the option to add that certificate to your LinkedIn profile as well. So maybe you'd want to, show in your LinkedIn profile that you're certified in Capital IQ Pro. This section right here would be something that you can do during your free time. We also have here our support lines, so you can reach out to our email support our call support. You can either request a call or call directly through the number here. And one of our most used functionalities is the chat support. So a lot of our clients do use this because you can be automatically linked to one of our support associates. So if you have any difficulties in finding the data or understanding the data, just reach out to our support line. Our support line is available 24/7. So even in the late mornings or early mornings or late at night or even in the weekends, you can reach out to them for any questions that you have. Okay, so yes, feel free to just reach out to me or our support line for any questions. And thank you again for joining today's session. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and I hope you all have a great one. Passing it back to you, Gerald, if you have any closing remarks for the team. Hi, Gerald, you're just on mute right now.
Oh ya, maybe Bu Tiffany bisa mengarahkan untuk pertanyaan ke teman-teman Bapak Ibu dosen dan teman-teman mahasiswa. Apakah ada pertanyaan? Bisa.
Ya. Rekan-rekan sekalian, apakah ada pertanyaannya atau mungkin bisa juga ditaruh di chatnya?
Ya mungkin kita tunggu sampai 2 menit lagi kali ya. 2 menit lagi untuk menunggu pertanyaan dari teman-teman dan Bapak Ibu dosen. Bisa langsung raise hand atau tulis di kolom chat. Bisa menggunakan bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Indonesia. Oke, baik mungkin belum ada pertanyaan dari teman-teman. Mungkin di sini saya akan closing terkait training S&P Capital IQ hari ini. Mungkin dengan bahasa Inggris dulu. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our session. A big thank you to Patricia for the invaluable insight, to Miss Tiffany for moderating this session so well. And terima kasih juga kepada seluruh sivitas FEB UI yang telah hadir. Jangan lupa untuk mengisi link absensi yang sudah saya kirimkan di kolom chat. Semoga pelatihan hari ini bermanfaat untuk riset kita ke depan. Saya Gerald, mewakili tim PSB FEB UI, pamit undur diri. Apabila ada pertanyaan selanjutnya, bisa dikirimkan, dihubungi ke nomor Pusat Sumber Belajar, PSB, dan melalui email juga bisa. Selamat sore dan sampai jumpa di pelatihan berikutnya. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih
Thank you,
semuanya.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.